Valentine's Day weekend. Well, actually, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. So this is the weekend of the Valentines. So we are live today, so I'm just going to go ahead and share some of the content so you guys can join me on this Valentine's weekend. And we're going to cover a little bit of everything and some shout outs here and there. Because this is the time for like all the lover birds and single people just out mingling, doing their own thing. Pretty much all the excitement you could think of. But of course, we still have to acknowledge that there's some states are still on lockdown. But I know Minnesota is open, so thank God to that, just in time for the Valentine's weekend. So now going forward, if you guys have any comment or anything you'd like to share or join us on this live stream, please feel free to do so. This is just going to be a fun chat today. So I'm going to cover just a little bit of everything. There might be some little politics here and there, but it's all mainly, you know, real life stuff. So again, happy Valentine's weekend. So let's see, what are you guys' all plans are, you know, for all the married couples. I hope you guys are finally recovering from all the pandemic, COVID, the stress, all the dilemma and things like that that we have been going through for pretty much a whole year now, you know. Maybe you guys will finally just look back to it and say, wow, we went through some really tough time. And maybe let's make this weekend wonderful and just come back to that, you know, wonderful life you guys used to have previously, you know. Or maybe the COVID-19 brought you guys closer together and showed you guys different part of life or, you know, a different reality and things like that. And you just decide you just want to celebrate and this is the moment for it, okay? So there's many ways to celebrate Valentine's, okay? For all the married couple right now with the economy being open, anybody can go to the restaurant, make your reservations, and just have a wonderful evening eating some really good food in a really good environment. And then for a lot of the single one, mostly the millennial and the Generation Z, yeah. I don't know what's happening to this generation. Like, it's almost like dating is really not a thing anymore. It's just not a thing. Like, I have some friends who would pretty much Snapchat me, like, almost a whole 6 months, you know? No offer for a date, no offer for, you know, let's get together or hang out or anything like that. And mostly when you try to plan for those things, they become unavailable, you know? So it's almost like dating is kind of like the last priority with this generation, okay? In this time that we're in now. And some people are mocking a joke out of it, like, oh, I don't want to go on a date because what if she has COVID? Or what if he has COVID? And you don't want to risk all that because you're going to die from going on a date. So anyway, dating is kind of messed up in this age right now, you know, I'll say. And, you know, some people, like, they got used to being themselves, being alone, and don't even really look into dating. They don't want to date. And that's fine, you know. Jesus was never married, you know. So it's not a requirement. It's not what life is based on. Like, you don't have to get married to feel like you're living a life, you know. But, of course, having someone with you and having someone to, like, listen to your complaints after a hard day from work or just cuddling, staying warm with them, you know, those are beautiful things, you know. Those are the things that we want to embrace when we're with other people, you know. But it's really all about taking the whole package. So you want the good and the bad, take it together, because marriage is for best and for worse. So there's a lot of people who are very strong and amazing in just making marriage work, making marriage happen. One of my friends, she modeled for me a lot, you know, so I'm going to give her a little shout out. Congratulations on her wedding. She got married September last year, and it was the day after my show. She was supposed to walk, but she's getting married. So now she's like happily ever after with her husband. So hopefully the chaos of the single life is pretty much gonna stay out of it, and they'll continue to live on their life. I mean, it's just beautiful. Watching the wedding took place. I mean, it was all over Facebook on my news feed, and I just love watching them because she got her little children that were supposed to walk in one of the shows that she does every year, Iowa Fashion Week, and they're like the flower girls. I thought it was just the cutest thing ever. So, and now me as a designer, of course, if you guys remember, I was doing a lot of weddings in 2019. It was a lot of weddings to the point where it was so overwhelming. So during the time of the pandemic, it was more of like a regenerating on my thoughts. How do I want to continue with weddings? How do I want to continue to work in wedding fields? Because weddings are headache. They are headache, lots of headache. Especially depending on what kind of person you are. If you're more of like a really, really picky person, then you're really piling up more load on yourself, Because sometimes being too perfect can destroy things. Like the Gorilla Glue Girl, if you guys remember that saga, that was like the hit of the whole week, Beauty is pain, if you guys have heard that, So same thing with wedding, it's once in a lifetime thing. Girls wants to get married and have the most beautiful moment. It's a time you feel like a queen, you got all the royalty, and it's all about you. So people go on over the top trying to make it so perfect, okay? And sometimes going a little bit beyond perfection, it can really, really be a wedding crasher. So now back into action, now in 2021, I have a big wedding coming up, so I'm very, very excited about it. But I also know there's going to be some chaos here and there, so I'm ready for it. It's cool. Sometimes you just gotta face the drama and continue fighting on. It's just the way it is. So other than that, nothing is ever too perfect, really. So, but I'm excited. It's a big wedding. It's an extremely big wedding. The bride literally has multiple maid of honor. And I know usually typical wedding, you have one maid of honor, which is the person that is so close to you that will take all of your BS throughout your whole entire wedding. That's your maid of honor. But this bride has many, so she has plenty of people to take all of her BS on her wedding day, starting now. And also, there's a lot of wedding plans coming up now, especially with the whole year of all the weddings being canceled. Now everybody is getting married. So this spring is probably going to be the beginning of the busy season of all the wedding bells ringing. So it's quite exciting, but it's a little bit overwhelming to kind of pre-know how many weddings are going to be happening this year. Because really at this point, like, people just kind of want to move on with their life, They want to get married, but they don't want a simple wedding, especially Africans. Let me just say Africans. Our African people, they love the extravaganza. They go all out, okay? When we had all the lockdowns and the shutdown, nobody's going to go for a small wedding where you only have like 5 members of your family at the wedding. It's like, no, I'll just wait till all that is past so I can have my big wedding. Because in most of those big weddings, you have like at least 10 bridesmaids, 10 best of men, and your audience are bigger than just as big as a football game. Let me just exaggerate it that way. So, again, congratulations to all the engagement, all the people that are getting married this year. So, may this Valentine's Day bring you guys joy. Now, let me get on to the single people, okay? Now, as me, myself, personally, I got used to just being me. I got used to just being myself, So even if I have one of my friends who actually wants me to go on a blind date. Like, it really gotten to that point where now I'm actually being put on blind dates. And I've never been on blind dates, not even online dating. So a lot of people go on blind dates, seems like it, and online dating seems to be the new virtual of dating for the Generation Z and the millennial. And with all the online dating, you really don't even know who you're talking to until you go on a date with them. A couple of people I ran to in the past, they tell me their stories like, yeah, I went on a blind date online. They seem so nice and they're so wonderful people. But then as soon as you go on a date, it's a whole different chaos. It makes you want to run. You just run, you know? And so, yeah, online dating, you never know what to expect. Blind date, you also never know what to expect either. So I just stay low key, not reminder. Hopefully that she doesn't call me to go on a blind date because I'm good. I'm good. I just want to stay home, have my peaceful weekend, listen to some really nice music. Since I'm more of a music person, not so much of movies. There's really not a lot of good movies out there right now. Like all the movies, it's not the same like the old time where there's real movies. Now it's mostly episode. You could be watching them forever, and sometimes you'll get distracted, you'll forget, you never really finish it. And then the season ends, and maybe another season doesn't come. That's pretty much what is going on Netflix now, especially with the film industry. You kind of wonder what's going on with the film industry, you know? With all of these cancel culture and all of the, you know, calling out on certain groups or whatever, everybody just sabotaging each other, you know? So it has really affected the Hollywood industry a lot. And just kind of wonder where they stand. Like, are we ever going to get back to those like TMZ moments, Buzz News moments, red carpet shout-outs, where celebrities have something to say, or like you catch somebody doing some actions in the middle of the street, or you catch a celebrity not wearing makeup or wearing like the most weirdest outfit, and then you go out and bash them on media? Those are kind of fun days because it's always entertaining, but it's not like that now at this point. Everybody's too serious. They're too afraid about COVID. There's so much illusions going on, like lies and truth are just kind of fused together. Like nothing is funny in this society. All the comedians that used to have like a comedy stand-up and things like that, where did they all go? You know? Because now they're kind of mocking on politics a little bit more, which I see in a lot of the platform and the commentator. And that's pretty much where all the jokes are going to, is the politic. You can't even joke about a certain celebrity anymore or a certain person because they'll get offended. So people are easily offended nowadays. So that's kind of going on. But I decided to take my shift to the music industry of Africa. So the music in Africa is beautiful, of course. And I want to say that because now I think since we're kind of in that globalist stage of society now in 2021, we might as well just combine all music into world music. It makes sense, right? Because they're all good. They're all good in their own different ways. Like, of course, in Asia, it's mostly like techno, rave kind of a thing. And then in South Europe, it's mostly like Latina and the salsa, bachata. And in West Africa, same thing, because Latino music and West African music come from the same origin and the same background. And then in East Africa, towards the Middle East, they have the same melody because it's mostly like the Arabian vibe. And then here in America is just a little bit of everything because America is a little bit of everyone. So where in this society, that's where all the buzz happens, everything goes down. Anything could go viral on social media, you know, because here technology is nonstop. You could pretty much promote anything, even from across the world, you know. So hopefully with the music industry, it will be one world music. That's one thing I'm rooting for, kind of excited for, because now the African music, I mean, everybody is listening to it here. Afrobeats has already made his way through in the last couple of decades, and now it's just a matter of American people, African people, wherever you are in the world, collaborate, start working together, having concerts together, things like that. So for this Valentine's weekend, I want to give a quick shout out to one of the musicians who is from South Sudan. So I'm going to say South Sudan because South Sudanese music is rarely heard of. It is rarely heard of. But now they're coming up. They're coming up. And their music is so beautiful. There's a lot of melody to it, you know. And sometimes you may hear 3 different languages, like English, Arabic, Swahili, and Amharic. So those are like the 4 languages you'll mainly hear a lot. So if all of a sudden you understood one verse and you don't understand the other, guess what language is translated to? So that's the uniqueness about the South Sudanese music is there's like these different melody and these different tones in different languages. So I'm going to give a shout out to LTD Bulbul, who have made his #1 song that came out this week on Africa 54. So it's listed under top 5. So congratulations. And, you know, of course, me being a Nur girl from Ethiopia, which is a part of a tribe that is linked to South Sudan, I'm so proud. You make the Nur people proud. So, and I'm so happy to see that they're sharing this content, they are supporting. And that's one of the things that, you know, we have to really acknowledge is support is key. Like, it's major key. Excuse my phone on there. So I'm just going to play a little short clip there, and then I'm going to move on to other things on the halftime of the show. In the meanwhile, I'm going to share and check if anybody have any comment or anything they want to say. I hope you guys can hear her well. All right. So it's just going to be a short clip there that I wanted to play with you guys. So I would say check it out. Go on YouTube, check out LTD Bulbul. That is spelled B-U-L-B-U-L, Bulbul. And the song name is You're a Queen. I know it's a little bit typed differently because here we would say You're a Queen, like Y-O-U exclamation R-E. But it's your, like Y-O-U-R, you're a queen. So LTD Bulbul, you're a queen. So check it out on YouTube, listen to it. And he has a really amazing pitches, like some of the pitches where he rises up his voice there, like that's talent. That is talent. It's mostly what you guys see in America's Got Talent too, or American Idol, that show that we used to have. I don't even know if it's trending ever again. Going on to some of the updates that I want to bring up to you is what's been trending lately on social media. So the impeachment trial, if anyone actually had the time to watch the impeachment trial, I said kudos to you, because today's Saturday and they're still going at it. We started on Tuesday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days. This is the 5th day trial. So my opinions on that is I really don't care, honestly. Like, I don't even know why this trial is going on for so many days, you know? Or maybe it's just that first time in my generation I actually get to experience what an impeachment trial is really like. So for that many days, I mean, the things they talk about, what could they possibly talk about, you know? I did watch the first day. I listened to the first day of the trial, and my opinion on that is it's a total waste of time. It really is. I know a lot of liberals are probably cheering on, saying, you know, impeach them all. And of course, the right are doing whatever they can to defend themselves, defend Trump. But still, it just all become a headache because now everything has literally turned into mockery. There is nothing serious anymore, you know? Whatever the left said, the right will mock it. Whatever the right said, the left will mock it. That's pretty much what it is. So this impeachment trial is it's just weird. It's really weird. And the only reason why I would even think that is because the impeachment trial was constitutionally made to remove someone from the office, from what I know, you know, constitutionally. But since they rushed the impeachment before he left the office and then say, oh, let's have a pause and let's inauguration Joe Biden and then we will do the trial later. And now they're doing the trial over a private citizen, somebody who's now a private citizen is not in the office anymore. So there's really no one to remove. But it only gives an outlook into the future. What is it going to be? Now it's going to be the time anybody can be impeached. All they have to do is be hated on and submit the impeachment. That's the way I see it. And also, some of the other things that are going on, there was a viral video of a 9-year-old being peppered spray by the police. She was being told, you know, I didn't really watch the whole thing because, like, you know, of course anything can go viral now on social media. But she was, you know, told to get in the car or whatever. I don't know if they were trying to handcuff her or what they were doing to her. But it's very sad. It's very sad to see her being put in the car. And after she was put in the car, she was pepper sprayed, you know. And of course, this little girl, she was screaming, crying, calling for her father. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, what really happened there? Like, everything is just too extreme. A cop pepper spraying a 9-year-old and a 9-year-old calling for her father, while the mother is there making a claim that, you know, she's threatened to kill her and her unborn child and herself. So, yeah, it's quite of a mess, you know. But it kind of makes you question, like, what is really going on with the children in the society nowadays with this generation, you know, especially all children. I know the pandemic, of course, probably has a lot of effect. It could be, you know, being so isolated, being disconnected. Maybe that little girl, you know, missed her father, whatever happened in her family. And also all the children who could not go back to school because the teacher union do not want to go back to school and teach. Causing a lot of these children to miss their friends and not have their social life. You know, it's just a lot, you know, it's just a lot. So it's almost like anything that is put out there at the moment, it's really hard to judge on it. It's really hard to even make any comment on it. But hope goes well for her and her family. And again, the Gorilla Girl. So there's a Gorilla Glue saga that went viral this whole entire week. So this 40-year-old lady decided to put a Gorilla Glue on her hair. So, and after she had it on her hair, like her head, you could literally knock on it. It's like a wood, you know, tock, 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 you know. That's pretty much what happened to her hair after she used the Gorilla Glue. And I watched a couple of her interviews. She was interviewed on, like, what were her intentions, what was going on, why did she do it? Did she read the labels on the cover of the Gorilla Glue, knowing that do not put it on your skin, your eye, and all the other hazards that are listed on there. So that was one of the first questions that rang into my head, you know, is the Gorilla Glue. I mean, it's very creative, right, to try it on your hair, because us black women of color, we have very, like, sturdy hair. We want to keep it in place. So going that far for beauty is a little bit extreme. And I was wondering, did she read the hazard? Because the hazard said, do not use it on the skin, you know, do not use it on your eyes, or I don't remember what was the third one. But her response was, well, it didn't say do not use it on hair. So she's working on suing the company right now for the Gorilla Glue being stuck on her head. And my thought was, Your hair grows from your scalp, and your scalp is a part of your skin. So that's pretty much simple as that. But she's good now. She was in the hospital, so the doctors did everything they can to take it out and got her hair back to normal. I just didn't really look deep into it, if it had any effect on her scalp or whatnot. But I know she cut off her pony during the time she was just going through that devastating moment. But she got her hair now. She's good. And the other funny thing, too, is people are starting to make a Gorilla Glue challenge, okay? There was one guy who decided to do a Gorilla Glue challenge because he thought it was all fake, it was real, like he was just trying to get attention and things like that. And it's what's going on, you know? And come to realize that now he's in the emergency room and claim to say he has tried it before. Oh, I tried it before. It wasn't like that, you know? So watching her being devastated for her hair being locked in one spot makes the other person want to go ahead and try it just to prove her wrong. Yeah. But I guess it is what it is. So people will try anything nowadays. So that's what's going on with the Gorilla Glue saga that I just want to give you guys an update on that. And lastly but not least, before I get to the end of this live stream, is I want to say happy Valentine's Day. Please go out, have fun, enjoy with your loved ones. I mean, stay away from crowd. Keep wearing your face mask as long as that's still the restrictions. But the good thing about the restrictions right now in Minnesota, they're slowly uplifting it. So, like the restaurants are back to open. We're fully going back to the economy. Even at my job, I was so surprised yesterday. They didn't have to do temperature checks. So that was a good sign. I was like, oh, okay. Now you can just walk in without waiting on somebody to scan your forehead to make sure your temperature is either green or red. So that's one of the good signs. So it kind of lift up some hopes there. And maybe we'll get back to some normalcy. We'll see. But, you know, one of my tips I like to say is, for the show coming up this season, spring, Newbie Ultimate Runway is April 22nd. So everything we're showcasing is floral dresses, floral designs, because it resembles spring. And what does spring mean? Spring means new beginning, new growth, new blossom. It's a new bright day. It's a new bright year. So I thought about doing that because I know 2020 has been a really rough year for a lot of people. And there's still many, many, many people who are still traumatized by the politics and also, you know, coronavirus, and to the point people are wearing 3 masks. So it's just a reminder to our human nature that, you know, in fall when everything dies, and then in winter where it is cold and dark, there is spring where things grows back and comes back to life. So I wish you all a wonderful Valentine's Day. Enjoy with your loved ones, whether it is your wife, your husband, your partner, your children, your dog, whatever. So enjoy with those that you love and have a wonderful Valentine. See you next weekend.
Mixing.